Hey, everybody, we're going to go over our top rated summer hiking boot of 2025. So obviously, as you know, hiking in the summer can turn your hiking boots into an oven. So we tested top rated hiking boots in 90+ degree weather. Not only did we test them for breathability, but also how they function on the trail as well. And the boot that rose above the rest is the Anacapa Breeze 2. So most hiking boots claim to be breathable, but their specs don't tell the whole story. I tested the Anacapa 2 in the summer months of 2024 and 2025 in real heat and long exposed trails. I also tested against other top-rated summer hiking boots. They weren't just one of the most breathable, they also had the highest scores in comfort, traction, stability, and durability. I'll break down exactly how well and why it performs so well, and when it might not be the right fit for you. So we rated the comfort a 9.5 out of 10. The Anacapa Breeze has a cousin model, the Anacapa GTX, which is the waterproof version. That was rated as our most comfortable hiking boot of 2025. This boot has the same materials as the Anacapa GTX without the waterproof membranes. It has a compression molded EVA insole, which is very comfortable and plush. So if you need to while you're hiking, your feet can press into that insole, and it has some give to it, which is extremely comfortable. However, the midsole and outsole are more firm and less plush, which is good for stability and support, which we'll get into in a second. It has an extremely high stack height, as you can see. So it's really good for when you're heel striking on the trail, and it has top-notch shock absorption. So anybody has painful joints or anything like that, very good for shock absorption. The toe box is extremely wide, as you can see. We measured the toe box at 3.36 inches, which is in the top 5 for the widest toe box we've reviewed out of 50 hiking boots. So no need to worry about areas of compression on your toes or anything of that sort. I will say the plushness is more towards the front of the boot than the back of the boot, which is what you want. When your foot is rocking forward, it helps with that impact absorption. You have a nice comfortable heel tab here. So when you're on an incline and your ankle is pressing back against this here, it's nice and comfortable without making any hot spots on your heel or anything of that sort. The tongue of the boot is nice and plush as well. You can get a nice tight fit in these hiking boots without being overly compressive, especially if you need a nice tight lacing on them. Weight-wise, these weigh 20 ounces, which is more at the heavier side. However, they have the Hoka meta rocker geometry, which is a subtle curvature on the outsole near the tips of your toes, which helps rock your foot forward. What the meta rocker does is it offsets the weight and actually feels much lighter than it actually is. So no issues with foot fatigue while on the trail. There are links down below in the description if you want to purchase this specific boot. We update them daily so you get the lowest price and any discounts that are running. So traction, we rated it 9 out of 10. It has the Vibram Mega Grip outsole. Let me show you the lugs here. Within the lugs themselves, they also have little micro spikes that are rubber that help hold on the traction even better. What's cool about the outsole here is you can see how these lugs come up past your heel. That's the Hubble heel design in the Hoka shoes. That allows more surface area contact for even better traction. It takes a little getting used to, but you realize how much it adds to traction when you start using these boots. Like I said, we've been testing this on a variety of different surfaces and different climates and terrains as well, and the traction held up excellent. Overall protection rated a 4 out of 5, so it's made with nubuck leather, as you can see here, and it has a bunch of air mesh pockets, which we'll get into in the breathability section. The stack height is so high on this hiking boot, meaning your foot is really far from being off the ground that you don't have to worry about any sharp rocks or anything piercing through the boot. So definitely great footbed protection. The medial lateral sides, you have good protection across here with the nubuck leather. However, there are a little exposed spot where the air mesh pockets are. So they are prone to ripping and tearing. I didn't experience any of that thus far and have been over 100 miles with this boot, but that's just something to keep in mind. It has a nice rubber toe box here again, protects you from any sharp objects on the trail. In terms of overall protection for your ankle, these do come in a low version. However, if you have any ankle issues, you're prone to sprains or anything of that sort, I do recommend the mid version. So now that we've gone over comfort, traction, overall protection, what you're here for is the breathability, which we rated a 5 out of 5. As you can see, there are air pocket meshes all throughout this hiking boot. It has integrated polyester, which is one of the most breathable materials you can get. As you can see, my shirt's polyester. That's what you really want during the summer hiking months, so you have really good breathability. I like to pair them with lighter merino wool socks even in the summer, but this is exactly why you guys are listening to this video. It's an extremely breathable boot with high performance as well. So 5 out of 5 for the breathability. Keep in mind, this is not waterproof. That's why it's so breathable. The Gore-Tex membranes take away from the breathability of hiking boots. Fit, we rated a 4.5 out of 5. I'm a size men's 10.5. I'm usually on the wider side. These do not come in a wide size, but I don't think you even need the wide size for them. Look how much volume is in here when I put my hand in. They're very expandable. There's no real compression areas. And the toe box, like I said, is very wide. So they fit true to size, no need to size up or down. Stability and support are rated a 4 out of 5. The ankle stability on this is very excellent. You have a nice tight fit without any internal ankle movement, as well as your foot. What's great about the Anacapa Breeze is they found a nice common ground between compression versus comfort. What I mean by that is there's a lot of compression around your foot, which doesn't allow any internal movement, which is obviously excellent for stability and support on the trail. But again, it's so plush that it's not compressing your foot down. Also, they have an extremely wide base. As you take a look at this shoe, notice how the outsole goes past where the material is in the boot. So the wider base you have, that's more ground contact, that's more stability on the trail, especially against uneven terrain. This very wide base may look weird from an aesthetic standpoint, but it's very crucial for when you want stability and support on the trail. Like I said, I brought up the Hubble heel. It allows more ground contact in your heel, especially when you're going uphill, to give you that extra ankle stability you need and hindfoot stability. Okay, our last two categories, durability and value. So durability rated at a 9 out of 10. Tested them for over 100 miles now. There hasn't been any flattening out of the outsole or anything of that sort, which a lot of boots tend to do over 100 miles. There is a mix of synthetic and leather materials. It's very tough to make a full leather hiking boot that's very breathable, hence the synthetic air mesh zones here. There are no welded zones in this boot, which is good. That's one of the worst things you can have for durability in a boot or a shoe. So what Hoka did when they designed this boot is there's not many stitching zones. The more stitching zones you have, the more stress risers, the easier the boot breaks down. So what they did is they put these materials together with the minimum amount of stitching zones. Overall has excellent durability and I didn't have any issues. Hoka always puts in premium quality materials into their boots, hence the price. But durability-wise, they're always worth it in that regard. So for value, rated at a 5 out of 5. What they were able to do is combine extreme comfort, durability, and traction in one of the most breathable hiking boots, hence why it is our top summer hiking boot of 2025. Like I said, we tested this for over 2 summers to really find you the best summer hiking boot, and this is the one that really shows up. So to get all that durability, comfort, and traction, you would expect these to be over $200. They're actually $170, which is about mid-range for a hiking boot. So our overall rating for the Hoka Anacapa Breeze 2 is a 9.1 out of 10. It's a top-rated hiking boot this year, just like its cousin, the Anacapa 2 GTX, which is rated as the top most comfortable hiking boot of this year. It has the same materials as that boot, but it's also breathable. So thank you guys for listening. Like I said, there's links down below at the lowest possible price. Also, don't forget to check out mountaineerjourney.com, where you can see the full written review of this boot and our best of guides as well. Thanks again.